How's it going, Pokemon fans? My name is TheRubbishTrubbish, and today we are going to be taking a look at a deck I got first place at a league challenge with, and that is Taruos Giratina. So this deck is very easy to pilot, so to say. It's not very skill-based. All it takes is disruption that you can destroy your opponent's energy and, make them attack into you and return KO with Taruos. But this deck features some of my favorite cards, and, it was just a league challenge. I wanted to have a nice, calm day, chill with some friends, and I decided to play this. So, jumping right into the deck profile, we have 2 Shaman. We have 3 Taruos GX. Now, Taruos GX, if you didn't know, has 3 attacks, and they all require a double colorless energy. So the first attack is Rage 20+, and it does 10 more for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Horn attack, 60 base. Mad Bull GX, which is the GX attack you can use once per game, 30 times the amount of damage on this Pokemon. So Taruos is a 180 beefy Pokemon, has fighting weakness, and the only real fighting deck in Standard that, could even be played would be Pissimian, but, you don't really have to worry about Pissimian because you have Giratina to lock them out. So yeah, Taruos is one of my favorite cards from the new set. I have a couple, but Taruos is definitely one of them. Then we have Giratina EX, 170 HP, Dragon type, Fairy weakness. Giratina has been in the game for a long time. It's a really, really good card, and has the ability Renegade Pulse, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage to this Pokemon by your opponent's Mega Evolution Pokemon. So this basically prevents Mega Rayquaza from going through you, and Mewtwo, as long as they're not playing Hex Maniac and stuff. And then for a Psychic, a Grass, and a double colorless, which can be swapped for a double Dragon and a double colorless or 2 double Dragon. Chaos Wheel 100, and your opponent cannot play any Pokemon Tool, Special Energy, or Stadium cards from his or her hand during his or her next turn. So 100 damage, very, very good Pokemon. If you can't tell, this is kind of a lock deck. And then we have Garbodor with Garbotoxin, very, very popular Pokemon in Standard. If this Pokemon has a Pokemon Tool attached to it, each player's Pokemon in play, hand, and discard pile have no abilities. So that's our Pokemon lineup, pretty simple. And then we have 4 Crushing Hammer, flip a coin if heads, discard an energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. 1 Enhanced Hammer, discard a special energy. 1 Escape Rope. That's just so that we can have a little more mobility with this deck, because these Pokemon are pretty fat. They have 3 retreat cost. And then Garb, would usually have a Float Stone. Then we have 2 Nest Ball. This just makes it so that we can easily get out our Taruos and our Giratinas and Trubbishes if we need to. So I really like Nest Ball. It was pretty clutch during the whole game. The games I played. Then we have 2 Special Charge. This is so that, if we face something else with hammers, or we have to Sycamore a bunch, that we can always have our doubles in the deck. So 2 of those. Then we have 3 Trainer's Mail, just to add that consistency. If you would need to dig for something, you can. Trainer's Mail is a really good card. It's personally my favorite item card ever. But it's a really good card and just helps that extra consistency when you need to dig for something. 4 Ultra Ball, discard 2, search your deck for Pokemon, really good card. 4 VS Seeker, put a supporter card from your discard into your hand. 2 Parallel City, great card. This is also amazing when paired with Giratina, because you can lock them into having Parallel City as their stadium if you continue to Chaos Wheel. Basically, the blue side of Parallel City reduces the opponent's bench or your bench to 3, and the other side, attacks by Grass, Fire, and Water are reduced by 20. 2 Lysander, 3 N. This is all just, standard counts of stuff. 1 Ninja Boy, so this is a really cool card in this deck. It allows you to switch Giratinas and stuff into Tauroses, and you don't really need to worry about the double dragons, because you can just Mad Bull GX. And vice versa, you can switch Tauros into Giratina. If you start Shaman, you can Ninja Boy to Taruos. If you start Trubbish, the options are endless, and this card's really, really good in this type of deck. 4 Sycamore goes with the 3N, 2 Lysander, just added consistency. 2 Flare Grunt, this card is so clutch. It can really win games for you. Discard an energy attached to your opponent's active, especially when paired with Crushing Hammers and Enhanced Hammers. You know, your opponent's Evil Tall with a Dark and a double can go down to no energy, which is really good. Another one of my favorite cards, Team Skull Grunt. Your opponent reveals their hand, discard 2 energy cards from it. Also a really, really clutch supporter during the weekend. It was just so good, and I'll get into that after this. So we have 2 Fighting Fury Belt, just bump our stuff by 40 and add 10 damage. 4 Floatstone, this is so that we can get Garb Lock under any circumstance and give us some free retreat. Then we have 3 Double Dragons and 4 Double Colorless Energy. We have 3 Double Dragons because you don't really use Giratina much. It's more for Vespiquen, Passimian, and Mega decks, but Taruos really shines in a lot of these, the matchups and standards, so that's why you need Taruos. And Taruos can't use Double Dragon, so it makes sense to play more Double Colorless. So getting into my matches, round 1, I played against Volcanion. Basically what you want to do in Volcanion is establish your Garb by turn 2, since you can't get it turn 1. And once you do that, they can't play their Steam Ups, which makes them only able to hit 130 with their Volcanic Heat attack, and it allows you to take a quick knockout with Mad Bull. But how I did it was I like to Horn Attack into the Volcanion first, if there's no damage on me, so that there's 60 on them, let them hit me, and then I'll do Rage for KO, unless they have a belt, but you can kind of get around belts with your own belt. So yeah, that was the strategy I used, and then I would end my game with Mad Bull GX, so that I wasn't using it too early on. Round 2, I played against Volcanion again, and I pretty much just did the same thing. The two Volcanion decks played very differently, though. The first Volcanion deck played Weaviles and Assault Vests, and tried to switch their stuff, but Garb was in play by turn 2, so they couldn't do that. But they were able to get Assault Vests on stuff, and that was really annoying. And then the second round was very energy focused, so I just kind of, hammered and skull grunted and stuff. There was a really good play where I knew that he ran 12 energy in his deck, and he Shaman Sky Return to get 2 of the energy back into his hand, which were the only 2 energies left in his deck now, or hand. And I just, skull grunt, and he had no more energy, and then just kind of won from there. Round 3, I played against Mega Rayquaza. I started Giratina. The game was pretty much over. He dead drew a lot of the time, but I was able to just establish the Renegade Pulse Lock, and, he couldn't do anything, and I eventually Chaos Wheeled for game. So, yeah, I won a little league challenge, really cool. I also won one last week with Evil Tall Taruos, which I profiled last week. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this deck profile, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out CanoCardsPokemon.com, and I'll see you all in the next video. See you guys.